So good morning everybody. Today we will be discussing about the field of sound wave. Basically we will be discussing about phonon. So we have discussed about photon earlier on. That's about black body radiation we have discussed by taking photon as an ideal boson. Okay, it's a boson particle. So we have treated photon and we understood what is black body radiation is and what is the different thermodynamics relation for black body radiation and what is the energy distribution of a cavity black body case with respect to frequency by using Planck distribution law. So that was a previously we have touched portions. Now we are moving on to the case of field of sound wave. Okay, so here we basically addressing phonons. Okay, phonons. What is phonons? It is condensed lattice vibrations or condensed elastic waves are called phonons. Okay, so phonons in solids, that is the main part we will be discussing here. Okay, so when you consider phonon, so phonon is actually specifically we treating about the lattice vibration. So there will be elastic wave generating, and this elastic wave contains energy which is condensed, and we call it as phonon, like we call photons. Condensed light waves we call it as photons, right? So similarly, condensed elastic waves we call it as phonons. Okay, so here by we considering the phonon in case, we know that when you consider a solid, we simply have a representation like this because these are simple uh, lattice points in a lattice which are interconnected, and the separation between this we represented as a, that is a lattice parameter, we just note it down. And we know that when you just simply picture is a schematic of a crystal structure, we know that there are different atoms are arranged in a manner which are not interacting, and we can say that which is actually connected as a harmonic oscillator. So if you just put a wave or mechanical wave you apply on one side, which will be actually forcing the another particle also to slightly move on the direction of the application of wave. Okay, so it is actually interconnected like a harmonic oscillator behaving. So it can behave as a harmonic oscillator. So we mainly in this part of the session we mainly discussing about the specific heat capacity. Theory of specific heat capacity. It is mainly explained by three theorems. One is a classical approach which we call it as Dulong-Petit law, and there are quantum mechanical approach. There are two type of approaches there. One is Einstein's approach and the another one is Debye theory. Okay, so these are the three forms we will be addressing about the specific heat capacity of a solid. So it is very important to know the specific heat capacity of a solid. So why that? Why it's so important? Because it will give the inherent property of the lattice vibration of a any system. So once you get the specific heat capacity, we also know that specific heat capacity has two representation. One is constant volume and at a constant pressure. Okay, Cv and Cp is there. Okay, so here we will be considering an ideal Bose system. Okay, so the ideal Bose system has a phonons inside. So this ideal Bose system where we will be dealing with phonon, okay, phonon in a solid, so which are the lattice vibrations. And when you consider the specific heat capacity in a solid, okay, it is, we know that it is thermodynamic representation. So what we will be getting is that when you apply any force or vibration, so we'll have a lattice vibration associated with them, any force applied to that. Okay, so we can see a slight lattice vibration, which is a prime reason for the origin of specific heat capacity. What is specific heat capacity? It is a amount of heat required to rise the temperature from 1 degree Celsius for a particular case. Okay, so for a molar specific heat means it is a amount of heat required to rise a temperature of 1 mole gram of something. So that is a molar heat capacity representation we know. Okay, so there are three theories mainly to explain specific heat capacity when it considers the particle in a classical and in condensed manner. So here firstly I will be addressing the classical approach. Okay, So in the classical approach, what I take is that I have an n particle with non-interacting particles. So I'll have n non-interacting particles, so which is treated in a solid. Okay. So the main origin of, there are two contribution mainly towards specific heat capacity. One is from the lattice vibrations. Okay, so the lattice vibration for the positive ions, and we also have a free electron side. Free electrons also will contribute to the specific heat capacity that we will be getting in touch with later on. So when you consider only lattice vibration case, due to positive ion core. Positive ion cores are mainly dealing with the lattice vibration, and we have free electron theory as well. So first we will be addressing lattice vibration case. When you consider lattice vibration case, there are three theory. So it is about classical one, when you take n non-interacting solid, and the Hamiltonian, that is the total energy associated with this. I can say that I equal to 1 to 3. Okay, I equal to 1 to 3 pi square 2m plus I equal to 1 to 3 half kqi square. So say we are dealing with the, we are treating this as a harmonic oscillator. That's why we have a force constant, that is k representing there. So k, we know that m omega I square, and what is omega I? It is a characteristic frequency. Okay, characteristic frequency of a normal mode. So normal mode means a mode associated with the system. Okay, so we'll be dealing in more details of normal later on. Okay, so here you can see that the energy, when you consider this one, this I equal to 1 to 3, because why is 3? Because we are taking each atom. So each atom when you take, so which have one atom will be having 3 degree of freedom. Okay, 3 degree of freedom will be there. So this is for the kinetic energy representation, and this is for the potential energy representation. And in total, we know that the total energy will be what? Will be half f kT, where f is the number of degree freedom. So here total degree of freedom is half into 6 kT. So this is how I introduce it. This is I introduced by equipartition theorem. Okay. Okay, by equipartition theorem, I can represent I equal to half fkt, and half is equal to 6 kt, that is equal to what? 3 kt is the total energy associated with the n non-interacting harmonic oscillator kind of particles. Okay, so this is a representation I will be getting for the energy notation. So once I get this, and E equal to 3 kt is the representation I will be getting. And now I say that if I consider for n number of particles, right? So n number of particle, and this representation I can extend to what? So its energy will be 3 nkt. 3 nkt is the representation. Here we consider for one atom, okay, where n equal to 1. So E equal to half fkt, half 6 kt, and then E equal to 3 kt came. Now for n particle, the total energy will be E equal to 3 nkt. So this is the internal energy of the system. We know that when you got the internal energy, so it is easy to find the specific heat capacity at constant volume, that is dou u by dou t. So that is equal to, where u is the internal energy. When you do that, you will be getting 3 nk. Okay, 3 nk is the correspondingly you will be getting here. So what is that? So Cv equal to 3 nk means Cv equal to what? 3R, where R is the universal gas constant, and the value of this will be equal to what? 5.96 calorie per mole per degree Celsius will be the value. Okay, so when you represent the same in terms of joule, that is 24.93 joule per mole degree Celsius will be there. So this is the representation we will be having for Cv. So what we obtained is that when we approach classically by Dulong-Petit law, what it's saying is that Dulong-Petit law is saying that, so you are treating the particle as a single harmonic oscillator. So according to, that's why we treated the above particle as a harmonic oscillator. So Dulong-Petit law is the classical theory of specific capacity, and by this one here he considered that we have n non-interacting particle. Okay, So which all having with all here you can see that Cv equal to constant means what? In all the temperature the specific heat capacity is constant. Okay, for all solid. So he's saying that all solid have same temperature, same specific heat capacity at constant volume. Okay, at any temperature or at every temperature. So this is the representation we can derive from this notation Cv equal to dou u by dou t equal to 3R. But the problem is when you we know that when you consider temperature, so the Cv of any case, okay, if Cv will decrease when temperature is decreasing, Cv also should decrease. So that was we can observe experimentally. Okay, so this is a theoretical aspect he is explaining, but experimentally what we could observe is that when temperature is decreasing, Cv also should decrease. But what we are obtaining for Dulong-Pettit law is that Cv is constant at every temperature, at all temperature Cv is a constant value. But when you examine this one, what we observe is that the Cv is constant. Okay, it is only valid when what will be valid for higher temperature. When it comes to low temperature, the Cv will be decreasing. So that's a point we have to discuss this problem in quantum mechanically. So what Einstein has been approached that. So here Einstein has been approached in a different manner. So what he has taken is that so Einstein's quantum theory, okay, Einstein theory, which actually he treated the particle in a quantum mechanical way. So that is more quantized energy representation. Okay, so in a quantum mechanical way. So what he has introduced is that we consider n number of particles. Okay, within a system there are n particles or n atom. Okay, so this n atom is associated with a frequency that is so all the atom having same frequency. So that was his assumption was. Okay, so he is saying that we have n atoms. Okay, n atoms with the same frequency. Okay, what is same frequency means? So n atom with same frequency means what? So the energy will be also same. Okay, so we know that here we will be treating with a quantized energy level. Okay, so we have a quantized energy in this case then. Okay, but for all atom the energy is same. Okay, so that means we can represent that E equal to what? So the energy of any oscillation or any lattice vibration, so if you consider, so the energy of oscillation will be epsilon n is equal to what? N plus half h cross omega epsilon. Okay, this is the frequency of the oscillation epsilon e omega e. Now if you consider the partition function associated with this one, so here we consider epsilon n equal to n plus half. So all the atom is possessing the same energy, and we have said that partition function in that respect, partition function, or rather it will be represented as q, so which is equal to n equal to 0 to infinity. Okay, e raised to minus beta epsilon, so which is equal to sigma n equal to 0 to infinity. How do I take this partition function? Because this is the partition function corresponding to a Bose-Einstein condensation. So that is what you have to take it out here. Here you are dealing with the phonon. Okay. So when you do that, so you can substitute beta epsilon is what? E raised to minus beta n plus half h cross omega epsilon. So this was the representation we'll be getting, and when I do solve it out, we'll be getting as, so we'll get as e raised to minus beta h cross omega epsilon divided by 2, I can take it outside, and sigma n equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus beta h cross omega n. So your epsilon will be, so this n is, if you take expand this one, okay, so this I can either write like this, e raised to minus beta h cross omega epsilon divided by 2 sigma n equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus beta h cross omega epsilon raised to n. Okay, this I can write like this as well. So the total the partition function becomes e raised to minus beta h cross omega epsilon divided by 2, okay, and 1 divided by 1 minus e raised to 1 minus e raised to minus beta h cross omega epsilon as well. Okay, so this is the representation we will be getting corresponding to that. And now in this situation, this ln q will be equal to ln into e raised to minus beta. So when you solve it out, minus beta h cross omega epsilon divided by 2 divided by what? Divided by 1 minus e raised to minus beta h cross omega epsilon. So this is how we will be getting the ln q corresponding to the representation. Okay, so that is ln of grand partition function. So when you write this one, when you take the logarithmic representation of this one, you will be getting as ln q equal to minus beta h cross omega epsilon by 2 minus, because ln of e raised to minus beta h cross omega epsilon divided by 2, so that is minus beta h cross omega epsilon divided by 2 minus ln into 1 minus e raised to minus beta h cross omega epsilon. Okay, so this is the representation we will be getting for ln value. Now we know that when you consider u equal to, u is the internal energy, which is the average value of the energy of all the particle, so which is equal to minus dou by dou beta of ln cube. Okay, so when you do that, you will be getting is that when you evaluate minus dou by dou beta, that is h cross omega by omega epsilon divided by 2 will be there, plus 1 into e raised to minus beta h cross omega epsilon divided by 1 minus beta h cross omega epsilon into minus h cross omega epsilon will be there. Okay, so when you evaluate that, so we will be getting as h cross omega epsilon divided by 2 plus h cross omega epsilon by e raised to beta h cross omega epsilon minus 1. Okay, so now if I say that for n particle, so this is our u, right? So for n particle case, so our u equal to what? It is the total energy E will be there, so that is equal to, this is for we have to consider 3n dimensional freedom for n particle, so 3n h cross omega epsilon divided by 2, okay, plus 3n h cross omega epsilon divided by e raised to beta h cross omega epsilon minus 1. So that is for n particle with 3-dimensional freedom. Okay, so CV, if you take, so this is a u corresponding to that, and CV in 3 dimensional. Okay, and CV will be equal to what? Dou u by dou t, that is already we know. So when you do that, when you evaluate this again, you will have 3n h cross omega epsilon e raised to beta h cross omega epsilon divided by e raised to beta h cross omega epsilon minus 1 raised, okay, okay, e raised to beta h cross omega epsilon minus 1 square into minus h cross omega epsilon divided by kt square. Okay, so this is the representation you will be getting here, and here there will be a minus as well. Okay, and you can take it out. Okay, this minus will be there. So okay, so this minus minus and get cancelled. What will be remaining is that we'll have 3nk okay. So this I can simply write it as 3nk h cross omega epsilon divided by kt square. For that I have introduced a k here and we have kt square here. So k square t square, so k can cancel. So I just introduced a k in order to compensate this one. So it's like I'm just multiplying and dividing with the k by k. So I can represent this term like this, and e raised to h cross omega epsilon divided by kt. So beta I can represent as kt now. Okay, and e raised to h cross omega epsilon divided by kt minus 1 square. Okay, so this is the representation for CV you will be getting here. Okay, and now what I do here is that let me just do a substitution in order to simplify this representation. So x is equal to h cross omega epsilon divided by kt, which is equal to theta epsilon e divided by t. And theta e, what is theta e here? So here you can see that theta e is equal to theta epsilon equal to h cross omega epsilon divided by k, and which is called Einstein's characteristic temperature or Einstein's temperature. Okay, Einstein's temperature. Okay, now if I do substitute this one, what I will be getting here is that, and the above equation, this CV equation will transform into what? It will transform into CV equal to 3nk x square e raised to x divided by e raised to x minus 1 square. Okay, so that is we will be getting as this function. If I do represent this function as e of x is equal to, earlier we represent u of x, e of x is equal to x square e raised to x divided by e raised to x minus 1 square, which we call it as Einstein's function. Okay, Einstein's function, and we what we getting is that we get as CV equal to what? So by putting Einstein function 3nk e of x, that is a simplified version of representation we will be getting for CV. So okay, so this is e of x is Einstein's function, where x is actually a function of temperature that you have to note down. Okay, so where theta epsilon, where h cross omega epsilon by k, that is the Einstein temperature. Okay, now we will be evaluating this one with respect to different conditions. Okay, what will be the scenario for different conditions that we will be evaluating here. Okay, we say that at high temperature, first we will be addressing what will be the scenario for CV at high temperature in this case. So at high temperature, from we know that x is equal to what? X is equal to h cross omega by kt, that is equal to theta epsilon e by t. Okay, so for high temperature means what? So this t will be very greater than theta epsilon. Okay, so in that representation we could say that this will be equal to greater than equal to 1. Okay, now if we put that into the case, so with 3nk x square, what will be our x in that situation? So x is equal to, oh, it is comparably very small, right? Okay, by considering this situation, when temperature is very high, x will be small. Okay, so x will be small in this situation. So e raised to x, I can say that, which is approximately equal to 1 plus x. So that is e raised to x minus 1 is equal to what? Approximately equal to x. Okay, so this I can put into the relation. So this was our representation for the exact representation for a relation of CV in terms of Einstein's function. So now if I put by considering this condition, 3nk x square e raised to x I can replace as 1 plus x, and e raised to x minus 1 I can replace as x square. Okay, okay, sorry, this is then a square also, right? So this will be x square. So what we will be getting is that 3nk into 1 plus x. Okay. So when I say that x is very small, okay, x is very small, then I can also say that 1 plus x is almost equal to 1 because x is very small. Then I can say that Cv equal to 3nk. So okay, so this is the representation we will be getting for Cv equal to 3nk. This is, we are very familiar with the relation because the same we obtained for Dulong-Petit law as well, where we say that for a whole temperature, here for all temperatures Cv will be a constant. This is only possible at what? Only possible at higher temperature. So higher temperature we will be getting Cv equal to 3nk, means at all high temperature Cv will be a constant value. So that is the first case we will be observing for Einstein case. Now we will examine the low temperature situation. Low temperature case, we know that where temperature is low, so it is theta epsilon, Einstein temperature will be greater than the temperature you are having. So that x will be very greater than 1 and e raised to x minus 1 will be approximately equal to e raised to x. Okay. Now if you put that into the case, Cv equal to 3nk x square e raised to x divided by e raised to x square. Okay. So that is equal to 3nk x square e raised to minus x. Okay, so this is the representation you will be getting at low temperature situation, and here you can see that this representation also is actually exponentially decreasing with respect to x. Okay, but the actual scenario what we do observe is that but when you consider this is what we will be getting for this case, that is x square is actually transforming like with respect to like this. And when you consider the experimental again, okay, when you evaluate the experimental scenario again, we know that at high temperature we will be getting 3nk only, that is correct only because it is constant. Okay, and what about low temperature? So at low temperature Cv will be equal to, it is actually depends on T cube. Okay, so it is varying like temperature with respect to T cube. So when you represent that, the Cv has to vary with respect to T has a T cube dependency. So experimentally we observe the dependency on Cv on T is actually T cube, not T square or T raised to minus 2 representation. Okay, so what we say that Einstein's theory, the quantum mechanical representation of Einstein theory, where we consider that he considered that all the particle, all the atom in the system is having the same energy. It's actually failed at a low temperature, but is true at a high temperature case. So that was our observation we could observe in this case. Okay, and if I just do represent the representation with respect to what we could observe or what we have to get it. So with respect to Cv, if I represent temperature here, okay, so I'll be having, so if it is T cube, this variation could be like this. Okay, so T cube, if you have a actual at low temperature, the temperature should vary as T cube with respect to Cv. Okay, but experimentally what we observe is that at high temperature, sorry, for higher temperature in classical and quantum mechanical case, the Cv is constant, that is we are getting here. Okay, so this is also varied experimentally, also varied for high temperature. Okay, so this is also varied. And now if I do represent the same in Einstein theory as well, we could get the same scenario here. Okay, so it is almost the same like classical when at high temperature, but low temperature this is actually violating the experimental observation. Okay, in that time we have to introduce our new theory, that is we call Debye theory. So what is our main problem was that at low temperature it is not meeting the same as the experimental observation. Our experimental observation is that the specific heat capacity at low temperature should vary as T cube. Okay, so that we could not properly include in Einstein's law. So we are going to the next law, which we call it as Debay's law. Okay, so it is the fact that Debye law can actually represent, or which actually able to address this issue of change in this representation. So we are discussing Debye theory in this case. And what Debye theory is saying is that earlier when you say Einstein's case, we say that all atom vibrating with the frequency omega epsilon. So that was Einstein's case. Okay. Now what we do here is that here we consider, again we are considering a quantum harmonic oscillator. Okay. So here we consider that each particle is vibrating with a different frequency. That means each particle having each frequency. Okay, so that was the here his main concern. If there are n particles, each particle associated with a single frequency. So that means if there are three n dimensional particle, okay, three n particle, that is n dimensional, three n particles are there, then they will be associated with w omega 1, omega 2 up to omega 3n frequency will be associated with each particle. So that was the actual difference between Debye theory and Einstein theory, where Einstein considered all atoms vibrating with same frequency, but here each atom having different frequency. Okay, so that was a consideration or the main assumption has been done by Debye. And he also, in this consideration, we know that he has discretized our concept. Means each atom has specific energy, means it's not a continuous system, right? So here he is treating as a atom as a discrete models, where will be having each having specific energy interval. Okay. Now also when you consider the angular spin of a photon, we know that there is no restriction towards filling up any particles, right? So any particle can occupy any levels, any number of particles can only occupy any levels. That was the assumption when we consider for ideal Bose system, no? So when you consider that, so here we can see that we have to take the particle, we have to address as a density of function as well. Okay, so when you consider, we have two types of wave will be there. When you consider a plane wave, so we'll have three transverse wave will be there, and we have a longitudinal mode also will be there associated with the each cases. Okay, so when you consider a plane wave here, okay, so which will be having a transverse mode of vibration and longitudinal mode of vibration. So each particle, so we'll be having two transverse mode and one longitudinal model. Okay, so this transverse mode has a frequency v perpendicular, and nu has another frequency v parallel, okay, or l. Okay, so here, when you consider the number of modes, the number of total frequency modes will be equal to omega and omega plus d omega, that we have to consider here. Okay, so you'll be considering two frequency with difference omega and omega plus d omega representation here, and we'll also take the distribution of this one, sigma of omega d omega will be equal to v omega square divided by 2 pi square 1 by v, let me just represent as v. Okay, a v parallel cube plus 2 by v, sorry, nu t, okay, not t cube, nu perpendicular cube. Okay, d omega. So this is the distribution of particle over a volume here. Okay, now if I consider Debye frequency, where that is omega d for each case. So this frequency will vary from but 0 to omega d. For example, that's where d is a dimension, and we know that this will be equal to, there will be a 3n dimension will be there, and omega d also, rather you can say that omega d is what? It is Debye frequency. Okay, it is a Debye frequency. So it is a maximum frequency of a phonon in a crystal. Okay, so it is a maximum possible frequency of a phonon in a case. Now if I evaluate 0 to omega d over a sigma of omega d omega, it is a distribution function, so which will be equal to what? It will be equal to 3n in that case. Now while you are evaluating 0 to omega d, v omega square divided by 2 pi square 1 by nu parallel cube plus 2 by nu perpendicular, okay, d omega, that is equal to what? It will be equal to 3n particle. So when I evaluate that, what I will be getting is that, so this I can say that v by this omega square I can replace 0 to d means it is v by 2 pi square one by v nu parallel square plus 2 by nu perpendicular cube. Okay, it's also square, cube will be, okay. And this omega, when you value 0 to omega d, omega square d omega, what you will be getting is that you will be getting omega d cube. Omega d cube by 3 will be there. Okay, that is, we are taking 0 to omega d omega square d omega, so that is equal to 3n. Okay, so that is then if I further, v omega d square, it is a Debye frequency, 6 pi square 1 by nu parallel cube plus 2 by nu perpendicular cube, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 3n. Okay, from this representation I can find it out what is the Debye frequency is. So this is cube, right? Okay, omega d cube is equal to 18 n pi square divided by v by 1 by nu parallel cube plus 2 by nu perpendicular cube raised to minus 1. So this is the representation for finding Debye frequency in that case. So Debye frequency is the maximum frequency of a phonon in a lattice or a solid. Okay, from this we'll also get a representation. We can say that 1 by nu L cube is plus, okay, it's parallel. Okay, it is parallel, or okay, and 2 by nu perpendicular cube, so which is equal to, I can write it as 18n pi square divided by v omega d cube. Okay, so this is how I'll be getting the value of 1 by nu parallel cube plus nu perpendicular cube. So that is, if I represent sigma of d omega, which is equal to v omega square divided by 2 pi square 1 by nu parallel cube plus 2 by nu perpendicular cube d omega. And now if I substitute the value of 1 by nu cube value over here, so that is v omega square by 2 pi square 18 pi n divided by v omega d cube d omega. Okay, when you do that, what you will be getting? You will be getting as sigma of omega d omega, which is equal to this 2 and 2 get cancelled, but we'll be having 9 n omega okay, this is also pi square, right? Okay, n omega square divided by omega d square d omega. Okay, now we know that there will be a two cases will be there, that is this two condition we have to take it out, that is 0 to omega d, that is a Debye frequency, and omega d to omega. So we have two conditions corresponding to sigma of omega d omega. So when you consider that sigma of omega d omega, which is a cross sectional case of that, okay, that is 9 n omega square divided by omega d cube, omega d cube, when omega is less than omega d. Okay, and other case if 0 when omega is greater than omega d. Okay, so this is the condition, we can note it down from the above representation. So this is a cross-sectional examination of frequency probability case you will be getting for in terms of sigma of omega d omega case for Debye theory. Okay, so this kind of detailed discussion you won't be discussed in your solid state physics. Again, you will be discussing the same specific heat capacity theories in your solid state physics later on. Okay, so in that time it will be a useful exercise that you can correlate and to understand that better. Okay, so here we'll just try to explain this is more in terms of statistical mechanical way, so that's why more equations are involved over here. So when you discuss the same in solid state physics, you won't be involved in much detailed statistical mechanics, you will be directly approaching the answer. So here the internal energy U will be equal to, in this case it is the total energy sigma Ne, epsilon will be the total energy will be here. So here I can say that 0 to omega d, this summation I can replace. So Ne epsilon sigma of omega d omega is the corresponding representation when you replace this function. And what is omega, what is sigma in epsilon means? It is the representation we already have studied. It is a mean occupation number e raised to minus beta epsilon minus 1. Now we know that for phonons also z will be equal to what? Z will be equal to 1. How z will be equal to 1? Because mu equal to 0 for a phonon or a boson system. Okay, so it cannot be created or destroyed. So the work done will be 0, so the chemical potential will be 0, and z equal to 1 as well in that situation. And we can say that this will be equal to, so in that case this will be equal to what? It will be equal to 1 by e raised to minus beta epsilon minus 1. Okay, so this is the representation we will be getting for that case. Okay, so let me come back to here. So if I substitute the value for 0 to omega d, and I substitute this mean occupation number is epsilon divided by e raised to beta epsilon minus 1 into 9 n omega square divided by omega d cube d omega. That's the representation we get for sigma of omega and omega. Okay, so when I do that, so this is equal to 0 to omega d epsilon divided by e raised to beta epsilon minus 1 9 n omega square divided by omega d cube d omega notation. And we know that epsilon is equal to what? H cross omega. Okay, now if I substitute that into the equation, 0 to omega d h cross omega divided by e raised to h cross omega beta, okay, minus 1 9 n omega square divided by omega d cube d omega. And beta, we know that beta equal to 1 by kt. Okay, so this is the internal energy that is we are so far dealing with. So n equal to what? The second is n 9 n h cross, that is a constant, divided by omega d, also a constant. Okay, 0 to omega d omega cube divided by this e raised to beta I can replace by 1 by kt, that is h cross omega by kt minus 1 d omega, that is a representation we will be getting for internal energy. Okay, so the internal energy, now if we put x is equal to h cross omega by kt here again, okay, that is equal to what? Okay, sorry, oh sorry, so u I got it like this, and here if I substitute s is equal to h cross omega by kt, if I substitute, put x is equal to h cross omega, sorry, okay, small problem with the system. So it was a problem with the pen. So put x is equal to h cross omega by kt over here. Okay, when you do that, this is equal to we have to represent theta d divided by t, where theta d equal to h cross omega d divided by k, okay, which we call it as Debye temperature, okay, Debye characteristic temperature or not. And we'll also have dx is equal to h cross, okay, d omega divided by kt. Okay, now if you substitute that into the equation of internal energy, u becomes 9 n h cross divided by omega d cube 0 to theta d ktx divided by h cross cube divided by e raised to x minus 1 kt by h dx. Okay, so this will be, you will be getting for that. And now further if you solve this one, we will have 9 h cross divided by omega d cube k square t raised to 4 divided by h raised to 4 integral 0 to theta d by t, okay, that is x cube dx divided by e raised to x minus 1. Okay, so further, okay, sorry. So this is will be obtaining for that. And now if I further solve that, so it is actually theta d by t will be there here. Okay. Okay, further if you solve, you'll be having 9n. Okay. Sorry, my pen having some problem, that's why it's keep on giving unwanted textures. Okay. Let me just fix it. Okay, so here 9 h cross divided by omega d cube k cube divided by h cross cube k t raised to 4 divided by h cross. I can write like this now. So 0 to theta d by t, okay, x cube dx minus e raised to x minus 1. Here I just separate out these terms, k cube h cross cube, I just write like this, okay, so that we take the terms around here, okay. So what you will be getting is that u equal to, when you do that, a equal to 9n h cross 9n h cross divided by this wd cube k cube h cross cube omega d cube. So if you combine it, we will be getting as theta d cube, okay, k t raised to 4 divided by h cross, okay, 0 to theta d by t x cube dx minus e raised to x minus 1. Okay, so this is the representation we will be getting for internal energy in that case in terms of debye temperature. Here this k cube by h cube we introduced in order to write like this omega d cube. So we just separated out so that I can write 1 by theta d cube. Okay, so like that we can get the internal energy representation for that. Okay, so we know that theta d equal to what? It is h cross omega d by k. Okay, so that was we'll be getting here, and u equal to, now what we'll be considering here is that we'll consider two cases here. The first case was at high temperature. High temperature, what is our at high temperature, what is our specific heat capacity? So at high temperature T is very greater than theta d. Okay, so x is very less than 1 at that situation, because x is equal to what? X is equal to h cross omega by kt. Okay, at high temperature x will be very small, and e raised to x will be equal to 1 plus x, that is already we have seen, and e raised to x minus 1 will be equal to approximately equal to x. It is approximately equal to, right? Okay, so at high temperature, so when you examine this one, your internal energy becomes, u becomes what? 9n k t raised to 4 divided by theta d cube raised to 0 to theta d by t x cube dx divided by x will be there. Okay, so that is you will be getting only x representation. So this is when you solve, is to 4 divided by theta d cube, x cube by 3 will be there when you evaluate, because this will be x square when you cancel this one. So x cube by 3 when you evaluating that one. So x cube by 3, 0 to theta d by t is the limit, and when you apply that limit, you will be getting as 9n k t raised to 4 divided by, okay, theta d cube, and here if we substitute, we'll have theta d divided by t cube 3, right? Okay, so like you will be getting the representation here. Okay, so what you are supposed to get is that this 9 and 3 get cancelled. Okay, and we'll have the CV will be equal to, sorry, U will be equal to, this 9 and 3 get cancelled, 3 will be there, and t cube and t raised to 4 will get cancelled, and theta d cube and theta, so here also theta d cube, right? So theta d cube will cancel, and similarly what you will be getting, 3 and kt you will be getting at high temperature, that is Cv equal to what is dou u by dou t, that is equal to 3 and k. So at high temperature, as we have get for Einstein's and classical approach, we get what Cv will be equal to 3 and k, so which is equal to a constant 3R. Okay, so this is debate theory is valid and actually following the same scenario at high temperature, but Cv is constant irrespective of the temperature at high temperature. Now we'll examine case 2. In case 2, we'll dealing with the at low temperature situation. What is the case of this Cv? Okay, so at low temperature, this theta will be less than theta d, where theta is the debye temperature, and we know that theta d by t at that situation will goes to infinity because t is very less. Okay, so and u equal to, we have to write it as 9 n k t raised to 4 divided by theta d cube integral theta d by t will be infinity, 0 to infinity, x cube divided by e raised to x minus 1 dx, and for this one we have a solution, so that is we can say that it is equal to pi raised to 4 by 15. Okay, so that is solution for that integration, so that we can substitute that, which is equal to 9 n k t raised to 4 divided by theta d cube pi raised to 4 divided by 15 is the solution for this integral representation. Okay, so I just directly substituted that, and you can get that internal energy U will be equal to, in that situation, that is 3 by 5 because 9 and 15 get cancelled, so we'll have n k t raised to 4 pi raised to 4 divided by theta d cube. So this is a representation. We will be getting the internal energy at a low temperature for a Debye case. Okay, so once you get that, it will be easy to find the Cv. So Cv equal to dou u by dou t, that is already we know, which is equal to what, 3 by 5 nkt cube, okay, cube pi raised to 4, okay, 4 into 4 will be there, that's 4t cube will be there, right? Okay, so 4 divided by theta d cube. So okay, for convenience let me just write like 3 by 5 nkt cube, sorry, let me just keep all the constant aside, pi raised to 4 divided by theta d raised to 3. Okay, this 3 into 4 I can write it as 12, right? So I can just write it as 12 by 5 t cube will be there. Okay, so that means Cv equal to what, this is at the low temperature, that is a scenario. Okay, okay, so this is you will be getting for at low temperature, and we from this equation one can say that this representation what, this representation Cv equal to what, Cv is proportional to t cube. Okay, Cv is proportional to t cube, that is the representation we will be getting here, because the remaining are constant, so Cv is proportional to t cube, and we can say that the specific heat capacity, sorry, at low temperature, the specific heat capacity at a low temperature varies with TQ. Okay, so this is a representation of Debye law. So Debye could properly explain the specific heat capacity variation with respect to low temperature that we observed in experimentally. He could able to correlate the representation. The temperature change variation of CV is varying with depends on T cube representation. Okay, so that was the old idea of the representation we would obtain for a specific heat capacity in terms of what? Specific heat capacity in terms of uh, ideal Bose system, especially considering the lattice vibrations where we are dealing with the phonons. Okay, and I also said that the specific heat capacity has a contribution from the free electrons as well. We know that the lattice vibration is arising from the positive ion core of the atom. When you consider the negatives, that is a free electron, will have a contribution towards the specific heat capacity from the negative electrons as well. Okay, free electrons as well. That we will be discussing when we will be dealing with the ideal Fermi system, because free electrons are fermions. So that we will be discussing on ideal Fermi system. So with that, we came to an end of the fourth module of statistical mechanics on ideal Bose system. Okay, and the next class onwards we will be start discussing about ideal Fermi system. That is the fifth module of statistical mechanics. Okay, thank you.